do it.
Me and my uncle went riding down South Colorado.
Welcome to me and my uncle.
NFL Weekly Rundown, Week 16. We've got a little bit of a different camera rig this week, so we'll make sure it's working. Danny, hello.
Hi.
Tell me everything about your experience at US Bank Stadium on Monday Night Football.
Well,
Or the highlights. Maybe not everything that happened, but
we know how the Bears did.
not good.
No touchdowns.
Didn't they get one?
Or
Late.
did they get one and then miss the field goal? Or
I think they
extra
went
point?
for 2 or something. Or what was the final score?
I think it was like 11 to 30.
12
Or
to 30.
12 to 30.
They kicked 2 field goals, they scored a late touchdown, and they missed a 2-point conversion. Yeah. But you had fun?
I guess.
I saw you dressed in both Bears and Vikings gear, so I was happy that your dad did not represent the Vikings at all. He went straight Anthony Thomas jersey, so...
There was 2 Bears fans behind us, and they were literally so mad. Well,
So
one
mad.
of them was, but the other one was like joking around and having fun.
That's the thing, is when your team is 4-9, going on 4-10, what's the sense in getting mad? I mean, I've gotten past anger with this Bears team.
One was more angry than you would get if the Bears were like the worst team in the league.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, if the Bears are a playoff team, maybe I'll get angry again about football. But right now, it's just like, man, this team isn't worth getting angry about. But the Vikings look great, didn't they? Well, you know what? They didn't look great. In the first half, they were only up 13-0.
Yeah.
But wow, every third down, it was like 3rd and 17. Oh, let's throw to Aaron Jones. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 14. These long distances that the Bears got them in, and the Vikings still converted it. So, yeah, it was bad. And then the Bears, conversely, converted 1 out of 12 third downs, I think.
Yeah.
And they got none or maybe 1 fourth down conversion. They got stopped on 2 4th and 1s. They scored a touchdown, and some idiot fullback didn't say, hey, I'm number 68, I'm eligible this play. So they scored a touchdown, Swift scored a touchdown, and then they called a flag on the fullback. Because you didn't say, hey ref, I'm in the game here, I'm eligible. It's what you have to do if you're an offensive lineman coming into the game like that. He didn't do it. He's done it every other time he's come onto the field this year, except that time. And then it cost him a touchdown.
Wow.
So bad. There were other games this week. Did you catch the Thursday night game between the Rams and the Niners in the rain?
The Rams, Niners?
No touchdowns, 12-6. Did you catch the Buffalo-Detroit game on Sunday?
That was a great game.
Another 2 in a row where Buffalo was just total shootout.
They won against the 2 best teams in the league right now.
Yeah, the best
And
record, yeah.
They're not even one of the best teams in the league because right now they are.
Well, they're second in the AFC, so
I mean,
close.
they're 11 and 13.
11 and 3. 11 and 3. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
13.
That would be not so
That
good.
would not.
And that would be a lot of games to play too for a football team.
That would be 25. Or?
24,
Yeah,
11
24.
plus 13, yeah. So then Green Bay, Seattle, you catch any of that Sunday night? Pretty much.
Seattle and who?
Packers.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch
I
it?
just didn't want to see the Packers
It wasn't worth
win by
watching.
a lot.
They won by 17. It was you were better doing something else than watching.
I'll give this to the Seahawks. Their uniforms were good.
You like those light green? They almost look like they glow in the dark, don't
Yeah.
they? And then to pair it with did they have a green helmet too? I forget.
I think, yeah.
Did they really? It's weird for a team to look like that.
But it's cool.
It's cool. It's different, you know. So kudos
And I
to
liked this.
the ice whites. Yeah, so much that you picked up a mini helmet to go against this mini helmet. So no signature on this one yet. So whose signature would you most want on it?
Jet.
That's obvious.
Yeah.
He had a pretty nice game.
Or
Touchdown.
JJ McCarthy when he's healthy.
There you go. Well, I don't think his hands, he could still sign it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the picks we made last week. How about that? You won 12 games and lost 4.
I would like to hear the ones I got
I'll
wrong.
tell you, I won 14 games and lost 2. So I did 2 games better than you, and Grandpa lost 5 games last week.
Okay.
So the games we both lost were we both picked the Panthers to beat the Cowboys. That'll be the last time the Panthers are favored anytime soon, don't you think?
Yeah. Wait, who do they play?
Dallas. Panthers,
Again?
Dallas. Or no. Oh, who do they play?
Oh,
Carolina plays
Cardinals.
Arizona. Yeah. And
Arizona's by 4.
yeah, the other game we picked wrong together was we both trusted Geno Smith and the Seahawks to beat the Packers.
I don't
And the
know.
2 that you missed that I got right were you picked Detroit to beat Buffalo,
Oh, yeah.
and you picked the Chargers to beat Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay walloped them 40-17. So on the season, where is this? 157 wins for me, 154 wins for you.
Wait, how much do you
157. You have 154.
have? So you're 3
3 up.
lead.
So I was 1 up on you for a couple weeks in a row, but since I won 2 games over you this week, now I have a 3-game lead.
Before we started this, you said you have a little upsets.
I do have this week. I do have a couple upsets, so we'll see how close we are on picking games. But against the point spread, you still have a lead, 120 wins to 115 wins. But I did beat you by 1 game in the point spread last week also. So things are getting a little closer against the spread, but you're still beating me. All right, we got a full slate of games here. The Thursday night game is between 2 teams that are right now in the AFC playoffs as wildcard teams.
Pretty big game.
Pretty big game, I would agree.
Broncos, LA, Chargers.
Yeah, Bo Nix, rough first half. I think he threw 3 interceptions against the Colts, but then he threw 3 touchdown passes, and they beat Indy pretty handily, 31-13. The Chargers, because they lost to Tampa Bay, they fell from the number 6 seed in the playoffs to the number 7 seed. So still in, but the Broncos are now ahead of them. So this is a big game because in week 6, when these 2 teams played in Denver, the Chargers won 23-16. So if the Chargers were to beat the Broncos again here in Los Angeles, they would have the same record, but because they beat the Broncos twice, the Chargers would jump back ahead of the Broncos. So big game. And if the Chargers lose this game, look out, because all of a sudden these teams in the hunt get a little closer.
Yeah.
So big game in the AFC West, big game in the AFC playoff picture. What are your feelings?
I mean, the games is in Los Angeles,
Correct.
so I'm thinking Chargers 27-27. Or
You're picking a tie.
28-27.
28-27 Chargers. Okay, I get a few less points going on, but and I'll take the Chargers to cover the point spread. I'll take 24-20 Lightning Bolts, who are the LA Chargers. Okay, these are 2 games that are being played on Saturday, the next 2. So there's a game on Saturday afternoon and then a game on Saturday night, I think. Or no, actually it's Saturday at noon and Saturday at 3:30. Okay, so no night
What
game.
are the games on Christmas? Or what day of the week is Christmas?
These 4 teams also play on Christmas because it's a Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday next
Wait,
week.
the Saturday game?
Well, these teams, I think it's Texans against the Ravens and Chiefs against the Steelers on Christmas.
And is this next week? Are they playing each other next week?
The games that I just said, yeah. These games are going on Saturday, but then they're switching the teams that are playing against each other on Christmas Day,
Which day of the week is
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
A week from tonight. A week from today.
So are we gonna have to move me and my uncle?
Well, Tuesday, Christmas Eve, but it'll be in the afternoon on Christmas Eve because I'm only working a little bit that day. So I'll be over here on Tuesday at probably 1, and we'll take care of it. Okay? So it won't impede your Christmas fun. How does that sound? Okay. What is the first game on Saturday at noon?
Texans Chiefs.
So this was interesting because when I printed the sheets for you on Monday, probably.
How is Houston projected to win?
Well, see, when that was printed, what happened was Mahomes had hurt himself against the Browns. His ankle was hurt and he didn't finish the game.
Oh yeah, but now is he back?
So they thought
when
it said 3.5 Houston, I think they were thinking Mahomes is going to be out. Well, he's already practicing this week. So
I hate Mahomes.
What? You hate him? Wow. Okay, so the new spread is now Kansas City by 3. Yeah, KC.
Is it
KC.
Just
Yep.
KC?
Yep. That's the abbreviation.
C
Minus
what?
3. Minus 3. Yeah.
Minus.
Okay, so here's what I know about this game. The Texans clinched the AFC South with a win against the Dolphins, and then the Colts lost in Denver later that day. So the Texans are locked into the playoffs. Kansas City is obviously locked into the playoffs.
Definitely number 1 seed.
Yeah, they won by 2 touchdowns. Mahomes got injured, looking like he's going to play, though. So, yeah, I mean, if he's already practicing, unless it gets worse, I think he's going to play. I'm kind of surprised.
If it gets worse, he's going to play?
Or he'll sit. I'm saying he'll sit. He'll sit out if it gets worse. But from what I'm reading, it sounds like he's fully practicing. Like he has, he's just going out there and doing everything that they're asking him to do.
Healthy, for sure.
And probably not healthy, just willing to deal with it. He might not even be questionable on the injury report, but he got hurt and he limped off the field. So, and he didn't come back. He's not 100%. Let's just say that. Okay. What do you feel like is going on in this game where Mahomes is probably going to play against CJ Stroud and company?
I'm picking the Chiefs with a little bit of a weird game.
Okay.
Like 4 field goals, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah, could be.
Texans 21, Chiefs 29.
Okay. I'm going to have the Chiefs covering the point spread too. I'll say 23-17 Chiefs. I think that the Texans play inside in Houston. If weather is any sort of factor in Kansas City on Saturday afternoon, I think the Texans could struggle. I think they're kind of built for indoors. Okay, the 3:30 game is a game between AFC North teams and is huge. Huge.
Well, Baltimore is projected to win by 6.
Yeah, what is the game?
Steelers, Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, when these teams played week 11, just, about a month ago, the Steelers didn't even score a touchdown. They kicked 6 field goals, and they won 18-16. I think the Ravens had a bunch of turnovers. Didn't they have fumbles and penalties, if I remember? Yeah. So, if you look at the standings there, the Steelers right now are 1 game ahead of Baltimore.
They're already number 3 seed.
Yeah, 3 seed, even after losing to Philadelphia on Sunday. They would still be...
the Eagles are number 2 seed in NFC.
Right. So they lost to a good team. By what I saw in the standings, even if the Ravens beat Pittsburgh on Saturday, I think the Steelers will still be in first place because they have a better AFC record, I think. So, these teams that really hate each other, these are some division rivals. What do you think's going to go on in this AFC North clash of powers?
The game is in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Projected to win by 6.
Yep, that's what I show.
I can't pick the Ravens, I don't think.
You can't? Even
Or I can't pick the Steelers.
Steelers? Yeah, I think some of the shine on Russell Wilson is wearing off a little bit, don't you think? He didn't look great against Philadelphia.
I mean, he's doing pretty good with the Steelers, but not good enough to win against this good Ravens team.
That's kind of how I see it.
So I have Ravens 27, Steelers 21.
Oh, you're going to pick the exact 6-point spread?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take the Ravens 23-21.
Thought that was gonna be your upset.
No, not yet. My upsets come a little later down the road. I'll just say that. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna.
You're not doing that game.
Probably not.
This game.
Probably not. Probably not. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna leave you in suspense. Let's get to the 2, 4, 6. There are 8 games at noon on Sunday. The first one looks like a joke of a game.
Lions and this team.
Yeah, I mean, they're only favored by what, 6.5 or something like that? I think?
7.5.
7.5. Why they aren't favored by 20, I don't know.
I mean, the game is in
Soldier
Chicago.
Field and Detroit. This is only their second outdoor game of the season. Now they beat the Packers in Lambeau,
Oh, yeah.
and they'll play the 49ers in San Francisco next week. But this week, they'll play at Soldier Field. Now, Jared Goff, in the loss to Buffalo, threw for 494 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Still lost.
Still lost. That's tough. Detroit could not run the ball, which was strange. And I'll get a little into that.
Jameer Gibbs and
Monty
yeah.
Montgomery got hurt. Maybe for the
David
season.
Montgomery.
Maybe for the season. He's kind of going to different doctors and just asking, like, can I play? Can I play?
So if the Lions make it to the Super Bowl, he might not be able to play.
Right now, it doesn't look great for him. Lucky they have Jameer Gibbs, right?
Yeah.
But they got...
Jameer Gibbs is really fast.
Yes. I think the Lions got 3 more guys hurt on their defense, though.
No,
So
their defense is good.
Well, was good, but it seems like lately a little shaky.
Yeah.
And you know, if those guys don't come back, you just have to win every game scoring 30 or 40 points.
So maybe the Vikings could be it. The Super Bowl team.
Maybe, yeah, you never know. I mean, Darnold's smoking right now. So.
I mean, but also the best teams in the NFC are the Lions, Eagles, and Vikings.
Right.
They're all 12-2.
Correct, same record.
You won't be able to get out. There's like a rubber band.
You gotta go around. Sorry, Em. We'll see when it's over.
You can just walk.
Okay, for the Bears, this was their on Monday night. They scored 0 points in the first half. Against San Francisco last week, 0 points in the first half. Against Detroit 2 weeks ago on Thanksgiving, 0 points in the first half. In the first half of the last 3 games, they have been outscored 53-0. How can you be that bad every single first half? Like, I don't get it. They're just...
Horrible.
They're a horrible train wreck.
Abysmal.
Horrible, terrible. They disgust me.
Every bad word you can say.
Every bad word I can safely say on YouTube and not, you know, have to add money to your swear jar. So... That's Emily's swear jar? Okay. So, I don't think much of the Bears' chances on Sunday. How about you?
Well, I do have the exact point spread.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here. Detroit is actually favored by 6.5 now, so we'll take it off of that 7 number. So, because if you pick exactly 7, you're not gonna get a win or a loss. Unless
You
it.
won't?
Well, if you're picking the point spread, it's kind of like you're not even betting. If you're picking the exact number, it would have to land on it, I think, for you to win it. So, chances are, you just want to pick a side, is what I usually do when I'm picking the point spread. Leave that down there. We don't need the cap for now. We'll get there.
Detroit, of course.
Of course.
27-20.
Okay, I'm going to go even a bigger blowout. I got Detroit 30, Bears 14. It's not going to be pretty. I mean, did you see any kind of fight from the Bears on Monday night?
No.
Not a lot.
Except for the kicker.
The punter.
Yeah.
But they blocked that punt.
Well,
That was a play.
he tried hard.
He tried hard. I like to see more than try from my guys. I want to see do, right? Not just try. Trying's not enough anymore. Let's see some
For
execution.
this team.
Dang it. Right. Okay, game 2 of the noon slate is one of the worst teams in the league against one of the better teams. Or no, I'm sorry. No, never mind. That game, my list is a little different than yours. Tell me what the game is. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong list.
Were you looking at this
Well,
one?
what happened was the New England Buffalo game, when I looked at it, was at noon. And then when I printed those sheets, it got moved to 3:25. So my order is a little different. But tell me about this game.
Wait, are these in order?
Yours are in
right?
order. Yours are correct. Mine's wrong. So
Rams, Jets.
Rams, Jets, yeah. Okay, so the Rams won on Thursday Night Football at San Francisco 12-6.
Yep.
Didn't even score a touchdown.
Nope.
It was in the rain, in conditions, in the elements. Well, the week before, they beat Buffalo in LA with the dome over their stadium in LA, right? No weather to worry about. They beat Buffalo 44-42. To me, that's pretty impressive. If you can, one week, win a game where you score no touchdowns.
Against one of the really good teams.
Yeah, well, Detroit certainly was the good team, and they beat them scoring where it was just back and forth touchdowns. So you can win a highly offensive game, or you can win a real defensive battle too.
Yeah.
That's impressive, what I'm seeing from the Rams.
I put the Rams on defense on my bench.
Oh,
I mean, either
you still
way,
won.
I won by a lot.
You kicked your Uncle Chris out of the playoffs.
Yeah. But the Rams scored 12
Yeah,
for defense,
Okay.
which is kind of a lot.
that is good. If you can get more than like 8 in our league for
Did
your
the
defense,
Niners score a lot?
they would have scored less than 12, I'm sure, because they gave up more points.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Rams are in pretty good shape in the playoffs now because the Seahawks lost and they won. The Jets, 4-10, eliminated from AFC playoff contention. I will say that Devontae Adams, the guy they traded for from the Raiders, he had a good game. 9 catches for 198 yards.
I remember seeing the replay of that catch where he got it really deep and was running, and he was at like the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and he scored 2 touchdowns that game too.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, that's why they traded for him. Unfortunately, if you're a Jets fan, which we are not, but if you were a Jets fan, you would say, where has this been all year, Devontae?
Yeah.
Why did it take this many games? So the Jets are out to play spoiler with the Rams favored by 3 now. I think it moved from 3.5 to 3.
Oh.
So Rams favored by a field goal even in the Meadowlands where the Jets play. How do you see this one shaping up?
Well, I don't think I'm going to pick the Jets at all this year
No,
anymore.
I wouldn't. They're just trying to...
Unless they play, like, no offense, but the Panthers.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Oh, you picked the Jets to beat the Bears? That's embarrassing for me. Oh.
Or the Giants, or the
You're putting the Bears
Browns,
in that
or the
category.
Jaguars,
Oh.
or the Titans.
Oh.
Patriots.
It's sad but true.
Bears,
You just keep reading the worst teams in the league, and the Bears will be in that
or
list.
the Panthers, Giants, which I've already said.
Right. So if you're not picking the Jets this game against the Rams, you must be taking LA. What's your score?
21-17.
Okay. I think it's going to be close because the Rams are, they have to travel east to play this game at noon. But I will go Rams 23, Jets 21. No upset. Okay, big game in NFC East. A lot of big games in division matchups so far this week. How about this one?
Eagles, Commanders.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts was really sharp in the win against Pittsburgh. I think both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith had 100 yards and a touchdown each. So he got his receivers happy.
16, I think.
16 in fantasy?
Fantasy. And I didn't put him in either.
No. Oh, Devontae Smith. Yeah, he had a big
Smith,
game.
I mean.
Yeah, too bad our season's over, right? We both missed the playoffs. Sad.
You missed it.
I did. But trading for McCaffrey,
Who
it was
did
just...
you lose to?
Well, I actually beat Chet this week, but what crushed me was I lost like 3 games this year where I scored 80 points or something. So sad.
You already knew you weren't going to make it.
I knew on Sunday that I was already out. Yeah. It was
I
bad.
finished with second to last place.
Second to last. Hey, but it was your first year. So, not last. There's room for improvement. Maybe you learned some things along the way, did you?
My dad's not even going to play next year.
Are you going to take his place?
Yep.
So you'll have full
And
say on
round.
everything you do? Cool.
And I might pick like George Kittle in the first round.
First round?
Which my dad said would be really weird, or a quarterback in like the second.
Oh, wow.
Or something weird like that.
Well, we'll have to give you some sheets so you don't do anything too crazy. Because think about it. Would you really want to take a guy in the first round if the sheet says Kittle is a 5th rounder?
True.
You want to wait. But okay, let's. I'm gonna try to focus on this Philly game. Hurts was sharp. A win against Washington would give the Eagles the NFC East championship. They would be the champions of the division if they should beat Washington. The Commanders needed a stop on a 2-point conversion on the last play of the game to beat the Saints. It came down to the last play. New Orleans scored a touchdown, tried to go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point and tying it, and Washington stopped them. So, close, but Washington escaped New Orleans with a win. Now, when these two teams played on week 11, about a month ago...
Did you just say New Orleans with the win?
Oh, I'm sorry. Washington. Washington escaped New Orleans with the win. That's what I meant. Yeah. Okay, when these teams played on week 11, Philadelphia 26, Washington 18. That game was in Philly. This game's in Washington. What do you see happening?
Well, Commanders are a good team, but the Eagles are a great team.
I think that's the way you got to look at this one. Yeah, I agree.
So I'm picking the Eagles. Either way, it's in Washington. 29-21.
Okay, I'm pretty close to your score. I'll take Eagles 27 and Washington 20. Okay, here is a game.
That we're
Not good.
not going to spend a lot of time.
I don't think so. But there is a little bit to talk about the Falcons, but I'll get into that.
Giants and what you just said.
Falcons. Yep, I spoiled it. Giants 2-12, eliminated from the NFC playoffs. Worst team in the NFC. Maybe worst team in the league.
If the Raiders and the Giants keep losing games, who will have the first round?
Ooh, I don't know. I think it depends on their strength of schedule or something like that. And that might not be totally determined until every single game is played.
If they play each other,
and I don't think they did.
Whoever wins,
Right.
if they play each other like soon,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just say the Giants won, would they be the
The worst
So
team
would
would
it
be
be the Raiders?
the Raiders would get the 1 seed, but I don't think those teams play in the next 3 weeks. So it's hard to know who's going to win that spot right now or win it. You know, really, you're kind of losing it. But I mean, yeah, having the number 1 seed would be good for either of those teams or number 1 draft choice.
Because both of them kind of need a quarterback.
Speaking
right?
of quarterbacks, I mean, the Giants. So last week, Drew Lock was in a walking boot. He had a boot on his foot, and he couldn't play last week. So they started Tommy DeVito, right?
Yep.
DeVito got a concussion in the game. They went to a guy named Tim Boyle, who played in a couple games for the Dolphins this year when Tua was hurt. Boyle played okay, but now they're back to Drew Lock starting this game.
Gosh, they need a quarterback.
Yeah, they do. Now, Atlanta, ugly win against Las Vegas when you were at US Bank Stadium. The final score was 15-9. Cousins was bad again. They benched him. They benched Kirk Cousins. They're going to start their rookie quarterback, Michael Penix.
Oh, he's pretty good.
He's going to get his first chance to play, really, at least as a starter.
Wasn't it kind of a surprise for the Falcons to pick him?
It was a
Because
big
they
surprise.
took Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, because they gave Cousins a ton of money. So it was weird, but now it kind of looks smart that they drafted Penix because Cousins stinks, at least lately. And now they look kind of dumb for signing Cousins to all that money.
Yeah.
But at least for their sake, they've got Penix here ready to play, and we'll see what happens.
When I was looking for quarterbacks, for some reason I go all the way to the bottom,
Yeah.
and I found Michael Penix and J.J. McCarthy.
They were the last guys on the list?
Yeah,
Oh, funny. Huh.
I think.
They probably won't be last on the list next year. I'm going to say that.
I mean, because both of them are going to be... Well, Michael Penix is healthy, and
Mhm.
J.J. McCarthy is going to be healthy.
Right.
So,
Okay, in this Giants-Falcons game, what kind of score are you predicting?
Falcons 20, Giants 13.
I have the same difference, 7 points, but I just see a low-scoring stinker in Michael Penix's first start. I'm going to say Falcons 13, Giants 6. I'm going really low.
Wow, so
Yeah.
you don't think Michael Penix is going to put up a very good fight?
I think they're going to play really carefully. I think they're going to play conservative. I don't think they're going to let him throw a whole lot. I think they're going to pound the ball with Bijan Robinson and just try to milk the clock. Just, you know, if you run the ball a lot, you try to slow the game down, and it's usually a little lower scoring. So I don't see them saying, hey, Penix, go out there and throw the ball 40 times. In his first game, I think it's going to be more like 20, 25, something like that. But we'll see. Okay, 2 teams that right now would be out of the playoffs. One is definitely out.
Cardinals?
Well, the Cardinals are out. They're in the
Oh,
hunt.
well.
The Panthers are definitely out.
Yeah.
The Cardinals still have a fighting chance. Oh, but tell us the game. I spoiled it again.
Cardinals, Panthers.
Yeah. Okay, the Cardinals, they beat New England. They keep their slim playoff chances alive. Although if they beat Carolina, they do play the Rams and the 49ers the next 2 weeks. So, you know, they kind of control their own destiny, I think. If they were to beat the Rams, they might need the Seahawks to lose at some point also. But if they win their games, they're doing what they have to. Yes, you in the corner.
This says 7.
Oh, those are
This
wrong.
says 7,
Right, because Monday, yeah. The Bears are going to be wrong on that. The Vikings are going to be wrong on that. Falcons and Raiders will be wrong
So they're 10.
too. 10, yeah. And then that's 7 and 7 for Falcons. And we'll get to the Vikings and Raiders on the net. Or yeah, you can change it.
Wait, have we gone? And Raiders? We need to
Raiders are
change?
12 losses now, yeah. And then the Vikings have 12 wins, yeah.
Where are these?
So I'll just, while you're updating the Raiders, I'll say Carolina was 3-11, eliminated from the NFC. Bryce Young, who have been playing a little better, 2 interceptions and 2 lost fumbles against Dallas. So 4 turnovers. You're not going to win a lot of games when you're getting 4 turnovers from your quarterback. So you got Arizona staying in the hunt of the NFC playoffs, or do you have Carolina pulling off an upset?
Cardinals 24, Panthers 21.
Okay. I'm going to have the same score for the Panthers, 21, but I'm going to take the Cardinals with 26.
So a little bit of a bigger blowout.
Yeah, a little bit, but not really a blowout at all, just a bigger win.
Right.
Only a 5-point game. Okay, we got 2 more games at noon. And, yeah.
Question.
Yes.
Since normally, when you draft a quarterback, like, you wait 3 or 4 years to maybe draft another one if they're bad.
Usually,
Who do you
yeah.
think the Panthers are going to draft?
Hard to say.
Because Chuba Hubbard is pretty good.
Yeah.
They don't have very good wide receivers.
You're right. And that would help Bryce Young, don't you think?
Yeah, so wide receivers probably.
I kind of think that they would take somebody to help Bryce Young instead of taking Bryce Young's replacement. Because I think at this point, you really want to give Young probably at least 1 more year before they say
You're
no
out.
more. Yeah.
So you probably don't want to watch a lot of college football.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
You do?
I watch a lot. Yeah.
Who would you say are the 2 best wide receivers?
Oh boy, wide receivers. Well, Travis Hunter, the Colorado kid, who also plays defensive back. He plays wide receiver and corner.
So maybe the Panthers would draft him.
Yeah, or there's a guy from the University of Arizona named McMillan. I don't know how to say his first name. It starts with a T. Sure. We can maybe look it up, but those are the 2 names. Oh, there's a guy from Missouri named Luther Burden, who's pretty good. These are the names that are just coming up at the top of my head. But we'll know we'll know more at the end of the season where Carolina's even drafting.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, if Bryce Young was awful the next 3 games, maybe they would think about quarterback. I don't know.
They are 3-1 or 3-11.
I know, not good. Speaking of 3-11, let's get into the next game, the Battle of Ohio. Oh, yeah, that's the one.
They're both in Ohio.
Yeah, they are.
Cleveland and Cincinnati.
Correct. Battle of Ohio, battle in the AFC North. Cleveland's 3-11, eliminated from the AFC playoffs. Jameis Winston, 3 interceptions, and he's been benched for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. DTR will get the start against the Bengals. Cincinnati's slim playoff hopes are still alive after they beat Tennessee. When these teams played Week 7 in Cleveland, the Bengals won 21-14. So, Battle of Ohio, what do you see going down in the Natty?
Bengals 27,
Mm-hmm.
Browns 17. Is this your upset?
It's not. I'm going to also pick the Bengals 34, Browns 24. Okay, the last game at noon is between 2 teams
Are we
who
close to the upset?
we might be on it. We might be.
Okay,
Tell
it's
the
not the Vikings Seahawks.
Well, I have 2 upsets, so just so you know.
Oh no.
What is the game?
Titans Colts.
Okay, the Titans are 3-11. They've been eliminated from the AFC playoffs. They had 6 turnovers against the Bengals on Sunday, and they have benched Will Levis, and they're back to Mason Rudolph. So I don't know if that's good, bad, or somewhere in the middle. Indianapolis, you probably didn't see this, played Jonathan Taylor. The Colts were winning 13-7. Taylor's running for a touchdown all by himself, and he drops the ball before he walks into the end zone.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So instead of winning 20-7, they gave the ball to Denver, and it was 7-13. The Colts did not score another point after that play. Bad. And Jonathan Taylor knows better. He's usually smarter than that. But that loss to Denver almost crushes the Colts' playoff chances. When these teams played Week 6, you may remember the Colts won 20-17, and it was one of the games that you picked the exact score right.
Yeah.
When these teams played in Week 6.
The Colts and the who?
This one was Colts and Titans. You may have picked the Colts and Texans game right or something like that. I forget what the other one was, but you definitely got this one right the last time they played. So, I might have spilled the beans a little bit about how I see this one going down. I show 3.5 point favorite here for the Colts.
4.5 I had.
Oh, I think it might have dropped a little bit, but who knows where it's at.
Should I change it to
Yeah, change it to 3.5. I'll give you. Yep, we'll give you that. It really won't matter based on the score. Or yeah, it does make a difference there for the score you picked. Okay, tell us what you got.
I would actually like to hear yours.
You want to hear mine first? Okay. Well,
I want to hear your upset.
I have no reason because the Titans had 6 turnovers. I guess my reasoning is maybe Mason Rudolph plays a little better than Will Levis. I'm taking the Titans 21, Colts 20. Mostly it's because I don't believe in Anthony Richardson. I know it's an upset, and it's probably stupid. I'm picking a 3-win team to beat a 6-win team on the road. Somebody's going to win an upset this week, though, so this is the one I'm picking.
Buddy, I am not picking an upset.
I don't blame you. Like I say, I'm probably the dumb one here. So
Colts 24, Titans 21.
But the nice thing is, see, I have a 3-game lead over you on the picks, so I can afford to maybe take a little bit of a risk.
Yeah.
Okay, the first 3 o'clock game is a big one.
Please.
What is it?
Vikings Seahawks.
Okay, too bad they won't be wearing the ice whites against the glow-in-the-dark uniforms, right? Because that'd be 2 of your favorite uniform combos. Okay, so the Vikings, you were there, you know, they were up by 10 points in the first 10 minutes of the game against the Bears.
Yeah.
And it never got closer than that. So they might not have played their best game, but they played well enough to beat a terrible team by 18 points.
What was their best game then?
What was the Vikings' best performance of the season? I mean, maybe the game against the Texans when all the guys on the Texans were healthy, and I think the Vikings won by like 25 points or something. It was pretty easy.
My friend went to that game and he was really happy about what the score was.
Yeah, I mean, the game at Lambeau, pretty good game.
Yeah.
But I feel like that game got close, whereas when the Vikings beat the Texans, that game wasn't close at all. As far as the Seahawks go, their loss to Green Bay dropped them out of the playoff spot right now. So they need to start winning, and this is a tough game for the Seahawks. Geno Smith got hurt against the Packers.
Ooh.
He is maybe going to practice.
Questionable?
Yeah, definitely questionable right now. I kind of think he's going to play.
If he's not going to play, who would their backup?
Do you remember Washington's quarterback last year,
Oh,
Sam
no.
Howell?
He was horrible.
He's not the best.
I mean, big difference. The Commanders were like the second worst team
They were.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're like
They're in the playoff position
Yeah.
right now.
they're 7th seed, and
In
they
the
would have
NFC.
been eliminated.
Last year, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, is it my upset? Is it not? Let's find out. Who are
I
you
guess
taking?
I'm gonna say my score before you.
Yeah, let's hear what you got.
Vikings 24, Seahawks 20.
Okay. You don't have to plug your ears. I don't necessarily want it to happen, but I'm going to trust the Vikings to win 24-17. So, No upset in that particular game. Okay, here I'm going to call this. Well, actually, tell me which game it is. I might not be looking at the right one.
Patriots Bills.
Okay, this is the one that got moved from noon to 3:25. The Patriots 3-11, eliminated from AFC playoffs, but Drake May played. He made some really good plays in what I saw in the Arizona game. He's good at scrambling. He actually has, I think, the second most yards per carry of any guy in like the last 20 years, and the guy ahead of him is Michael Vick, who is one of probably the best running quarterback of all time.
Do you think they're gonna draft a wide receiver?
They're another
to help,
team that, yeah.
Drake May.
Yeah, and look at them. They're going to be in like the top 5 of the draft probably. They're going to get a great player who's not a quarterback.
Yeah.
So they're going
Because Drake May is good, but the people that are catching the ball are not.
They could use some help
And
there.
the defense isn't great. Well,
I think they're bigger
defense is
holes.
decent.
I think Drake May needs some help around it.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. Buffalo, geez, Josh Allen, 2 touchdown passes, 2 touchdowns running against Detroit. And if he has not sealed up the MVP, I just think that.
I don't know who is.
I think it's his. I mean, unless
it's
he.
gotta be his.
Yeah, unless he just did nothing the next 3 games.
Making the record of 4 touchdowns himself and throwing 4 touchdowns.
3 and 3
Oh.
against. That was in the loss to the Rams. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And
Crazy.
and just I mean they're winning the division. They're going to be either the first or second team in the AFC. I feel like the MVP just has to go to him.
If it's not, that would be honestly the biggest upset of the year.
Oh, I mean Barkley and Lamar Jackson probably you could make an argument for them, but I don't think it's a winning argument.
Honestly, I think one of Saquon Barkley's really big helps is maybe their offensive linemen.
That's true. I mean,
They're really good.
yeah, because Swift was good with that same offensive
Yeah.
line, right? Yeah, that makes sense.
But Saquon Barkley himself is really good.
He
too.
takes it to the next level. I mean, DeAndre Swift is no Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Like, Barkley is a stud.
Was Saquon Barkley last year there? Was he last year the Giants running back?
He was. Yep. Yeah.
Did he play good for the Giants?
Yeah, he was good. He was hurt a lot, was his thing.
Mm.
And they decided to pay Daniel Jones instead of to pay Saquon Barkley.
Gosh, that was not smart.
And now look at where they're at. They have neither of them. So,
I mean, the Giants would be really, not really good, but way better if they had Saquon Barkley as
I think so, yeah. But still need a quarterback, though, right?
Yeah.
So, the Bills have scored 90 points the last 2 games, and they've given up 84 points the last 2 games. So they're playing great on offense, pretty shaky on defense. What do you think goes on? They're back in front of Bills Mafia here for this game. Could be pretty wild.
I mean, it's 14 points for the point
It's
spread.
a big spread. You think they're going to cover?
Yeah, I do. I
Okay.
have the same exact point spread.
Oh, 14?
actually.
You want to pick it right on 14, or you want to try to take... Because if you pick 14, you're not going to get a win or a loss. You got to pick one side of it. Maybe give them one more point.
No, wait.
15? There you got it. Okay.
15
That would be a big
15.
change.
to 20.
No. Tell us the real score.
Okay, 20 to 35.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
Okay, you're picking them to cover.
Of
Yeah,
course.
of course. And I've got the Bills covering the point spread also. I'll go 38-17. Okay, we have 4 more games left. 2 more are at 3 o'clock. And this one, I'm going to call it right now, worst game of the year.
Definitely. Jaguars, Raiders.
Jags.
Just say your score.
Just say my score.
To be honest.
Jags 13, Raiders 10.
These are not good teams, so.
No.
Raiders 24, Jaguars 21.
You've got who winning? Raiders?
Raiders.
Oh, I've got the Jags. So, okay, we're on different
Was
sides
that
of that
your
one.
other episode?
No, because this one actually, I told you it
Well,
changed to
yeah.
an even point spread. So this one is a total coin toss. They're just calling the point spread basically as 0 on this game. They don't have anybody favored. Okay, here is this last game at 3 o'clock. Two teams that probably thought they were Super Bowl contenders going into the season.
But now they
Not
are
even
not
close.
good. 49ers, Miami Dolphins.
Okay, I'll be pretty quick about this one too. The Niners are 6-8 after losing to LA. And they're in the hunt, but I mean, basically their season's over. And you could say the same thing about the Dolphins. 6-8 after their loss at Houston. Technically they're in the hunt, but they are not going to make the playoffs.
There are a lot of teams in the hunt for NFC
Yeah.
and a lot of teams eliminated for AFC.
Yeah, that is true. Only the Colts, Dolphins, and Bengals are really in the hunt in the AFC. So
And
these
Seahawks, Cardinals, Falcons, 49ers, Cowboys, and Saints are all in for the hunt.
Yeah, and actually I heard if the games go a certain way, the AFC 7 teams in the playoffs might be totally set after this week, if certain things happen. So we'll have to see how that shakes out.
Who do the Texans play?
Texans, who do they play? Kansas City in the Saturday game.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah. So these two teams are basically in the same position. They have the same record. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they still have a mathematical chance. What do you think is going to happen down in Miami on Sunday?
Miami Dolphins 21, 49ers 20. So close game.
Here's my second upset.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so this is the battle of two coaches who used to work with each other. Kyle Shanahan is the 49ers coach.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel coached under him as their offensive coordinator.
What team were they coaching?
Now McDaniel, the 49ers. So Shanahan is still the coach of the 49ers, and McDaniel then took the head coach job of the Dolphins. So I think this is sort of the teacher and student kind of situation. I'm going to take the teacher, Shanahan. I think the Niners win 24-21. Those are my two upsets. Here is the Sunday night game. Big game for one team. It says they're in the hunt, but
Nope. I would
6-8
say
is
no.
yeah. What is it?
Buccaneers Cowboys.
Okay, the Bucs were losing 13-17 at halftime against the Chargers, but they outscored LA 27-0 in the second half to win 40-17. The Cowboys are 6-8 after beating Carolina. They're in the hunt, but their next two games are against Philly and Washington.
And
So
Buccaneers are surprisingly number 3 seed for the NFC.
do you know that the Buccaneers beat both the Lions and Eagles this year?
Series? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember week 2 they beat the Lions.
And I think it was pretty early that they beat Philly too. Might have been a Monday night game. I want to say 4 or 5 or something like that. Something like that. Yeah. And ever since then, Philly's been just rock solid.
Yeah.
But Tampa,
And
yeah.
Didn't Philadelphia? Or wait, no, it was the Buccaneers in the playoffs last year
Detroit
where
or
Philly and Buccaneers played.
yeah, on a Monday night,
Yeah.
and I think it was like 32-9 or something. It was
Yeah.
a real blowout. And then the next week, Tampa Bay had to go to Detroit, and the Lions beat them.
Yeah.
So the Bucs are kind of in similar position this year, looking like they're going to win the division. We'll give your mom a 1. We got one game. Let's make our scores for this one. Let's pick this Sunday night game.
Buccaneers 24, Cowboys 20.
I'll go Bucs 27, Cowboys 22.
And
One Monday night game remaining. This is a bad team against, sadly, a good team.
Saints and you know who.
Oh, you're not saying their name anymore?
No.
We're back to
Okay.
that? Okay, that's fine. The Saints are 5-9. They are going to need to win their next 3 games They need Tampa Bay to lose their next 3 games, and they need the Falcons to lose another game along the way to win the division. So the Saints' chances are
Horrible.
slim to none.
Yeah.
Hayner, that guy Jake Hayner, started the game. 0 points at halftime. They benched him and went to Spencer Rattler. And Rattler actually got the game close to where the Saints actually
Wait,
lost
who did
them.
the Saints play?
Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rattler had a pretty good game.
A pretty good half, yeah, because he came in at halftime and they, made it close. Green Bay blew out the Seahawks in Seattle. But they would need to beat the Vikings next week and have the Vikings lose somewhere else along the way in order to improve their position in the playoffs right now. So chances are the Packers are going to be a wild card team and they're going to be the 6th seed or maybe the 7th seed. But they have a pretty easy schedule, I think, the rest of the way. Well, no, they play the Vikings, but they play the Bears and the Saints, so it's not exactly...
Packers play the Bears.
Yeah, last game. So they'll play Saints, then the Vikings, then the Bears. Okay, so what do you see going to... I think I know who you're going to pick, even if you don't want to say their name.
You know who? 29-17.
I'm pretty close to you. I'm going to take 30-13 for the you-know-who's, the team from Green Bay. Okay, well, how did you feel about these picks this week?
Pretty decent.
Pretty decent? Probably because you think my upsets were dumb. I don't think you picked any upsets, so... well, maybe that Jags-Raiders game was kind of a coin toss. So I think we were different on Jags-Raiders, on Titans-Colts, and on 49ers-Dolphins. So those are the 3 games where if you won them all, you'd be tied with me. So those are the ones you got to be cheering for. Okay, good episode. Way to be engaged, and we stayed. Your mom can even be here to cue the music. So thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Even you Bears fans who put up with this, probably some of you have stopped paying attention, and that's fine because the Bears are horrible. But Vikings fans can watch for Danny's insight and optimism. So, did we do this? I forget.
I think
Rawr. Go Bears!
I did.
You can do the skull chant. How about you do the skull thing for people? If you want to do that?
Oh, Vikings,
Oh.
let's win the game. Something, 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 something.
You don't know the words soon enough. So, thanks, people. Bye.